We've been really looking forward to saying this. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual Veterans Day concert. Tonight, the Lancer Band and Color Guard will honor the brave men and women who have willingly put themselves in harm's way to protect us and our way of life. To begin our program, please rise and remove your hats for the Procession of the Colors presented by the Wanakee VFW and American Legion, and with a cadence by the Lancer Band drumline. Will everyone please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, members of the Board of Education, faculty, students, distinguished guests, and a special welcome to all of our veterans. I'm Hugh Beatty, the proud superintendent of Lakeland Regional High School, and it is an honor to be with such a distinguished crowd this evening. This concert event is something that many of us look forward to each year. Although it was originally scheduled for last week, due to the weather and the fact that this is, after all, 2020, the event has been rescheduled for this evening. Thank you all for joining us. The challenges that we all have faced during this year of 2020 have been difficult indeed. We have faced a worldwide pandemic, a series of social issues that have forced us all to reflect on justice and the core of our society. However, challenges are nothing new to our veterans who are here with us tonight. They faced the dangers of war. They faced the voices of a society that didn't always understand. They said goodbye to their families and their loved ones, not knowing that they would ever see them again. They faced enemies on land, on sea, and in the air. They faced uncertainties of what lay ahead of them each and every day. but they believed in and were dedicated to the cause of preserving liberty and freedom. They wore their uniforms proudly and believed in a flag under which they served. They survived the greatest of all challenges, and for that we are eternally grateful and honored to celebrate their heroism, commitment, and patriotism. Our students, under the leadership of Mr. Matthew Testa, have shown great perseverance also in doing the right thing and not letting the threat of a worldwide pandemic stop them from performing for you this evening. In this fitting tribute to our veterans, we are as proud of them as we are of our guests who served our country so honorably. Thank you to all for your efforts in making tonight become a reality. Despite the overwhelming odds, we are here. We are strong, we are proud, and no enemy, whether it be in a foreign uniform or a dreaded virus, can stop us from believing what we believe in and paying tribute to those who have served our country. God bless you all, and thank you to both our students, our brave veterans, to Mr. Novak for an outstanding job, our faculty and staff, and for all of our helpers out there tonight. Thank you, enjoy this performance, and always stand tall.
After spending 12 years as the director of the President's own Marine Band from 1880 to 1892, John Philip Souza enjoyed tremendous success with his own Souza Band, traveling extensively throughout the United States and abroad. During its heyday, the group would often perform in residence at well-known resorts and at national expositions. One such summer retreat was New York's famous Manhattan Beach, and in 1893, Souza dedicated a march to this establishment. In Souza's own personal interpretation, the trio's bubbling arpeggios imitate the waves of the ocean lapping against the shore during a walk along the beach. The waves first get louder and louder, but then fade away as the walk continues on its shore. To conduct this piece, I would like to welcome Jacob Eckert, one of our student conductors. Whether it be between countries, communities, or close friends, each soul seeks peace. We thought that this piece would be absolutely appropriate given the times that we're in, and we hope that it brings peace to you. At this time, I would like to invite Jacob Wearer, our student conductor, to the podium.
Stepping to the podium now is someone who needs no introduction to our Lakeland community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our special guest conductor, Miss Lori Kunkel. For 25 years, Miss Kunkel dedicated herself, to the life of those students who she worked with. Back in May, she was about to conduct her 100th concert. However, like Mr. B said before, 2020 hit and she was unable to do so. So, in a sign of selflessness and giving her her right place before her Lancer Band one more time, Mr. Testa and the Lancer Band thought it would be an appropriate idea to have her conduct our Lancers one last time. However, before she does, we have two special surprises for Ms. Kunkel. Mr. Frank LaSala, on behalf of the Knights of Columbus, who's also a Lakeland Regional High School alumni from 1969, is here to present Ms. Kunkel with a Lifetime Service Achievement Award. Additionally, it has also been decided that moving forward, our Performing Arts Center will now officially be called the Lori Kunzel Performing Arts Center. We have dedicated our auditorium in her honor. Mr. Harder, please present Ms. Kunzel with her flowers. And knowing Ms. Kunzel as well as I know her, we'll let the focus go back on the students and allow her to conduct the Armed Forces Salute.
The United States Army. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Air Force. the United States Navy.
One more round of applause, please, for Miss Conjol and the Lancer Band. At this time, we would like to take the opportunity to recognize our veterans who are in attendance and to honor those who we would like to remember. Please stand when your name is read. We ask that you hold all applause until the very end. Thank you. William Brown, U.S. Air Force. Roger Ash, U.S. Navy. Robert Whittier, U.S. Navy. Mr. Whittier would like to honor Fred G. Collins. Frank Johnson, U.S. Air Force. Richard Aarons, U.S. Air Force. Richard Donovan, U.S. Navy. Robert Tennant, U.S. Navy. Maurice Rocket Houks, Jr., U.S. Army. Mr. Houks would like to remember Dale Spear, Ted Luciani, and Dan Gallatin. Peter Kramer, U.S. Army. Mr. Kramer would like to remember John Conti. Edward Norton, U.S. Air Force. Anthony Lanza, U.S. Marine Corps. Robert Livy, U.S. Army. Ken Houston, U.S. Navy. John Ingino, U.S. Marines. Tom Nelson, U.S. Army. Robert Mishkoff, U.S. Air Force. Mr. Mishkoff would like to remember John Mishkoff and William Cook. Jack Harrington, U.S. Marine Corps. Len Graff, U.S. Marines. Chief Joseph J. Walker, U.S. Army. Mr. Walker would like to remember Corporal Joseph J. Walker. Ed Blakely, U.S. Navy. John Kaminsky, U.S. Army. Francisco Perez, U.S. Army. Mr. Calabrese would like to remember John Calabrese, Sr., U.S. Army. Matthew and Catherine Geisel would like to remember Colonel Richard L. Boyle, U.S. Army. Amy Boyle Geisel would like to remember Captain Peter F. Boyle, U.S. Navy. Amy Boyle Geisel would also like to remember Captain and Company Commander William R. Boyle, U.S. Army. Amy Jolin would like to remember Edward Thomas Sr., U.S. Army. Preston Law would like to remember Robert E. Bates, U.S. Army. The Anderson family would like to remember George R. Pyle, U.S. Army. William Brown would like to remember William Brown, Air Force. Miss Katie Telshaw and the Telshaw family would like to remember Robert Hadley, U.S. Army. The Fiorello family would like to remember John Fiorello, U.S. Army. Corinne Ecker would like to honor Edwin Blakesley, U.S. Navy. The Gonzalez family would like to honor Louis Salcido, U.S. Army. Peter Schaefer would like to remember Richard Schaefer, U.S. Army. Marissa Nastori would like to honor John Ingino, U.S. Marines. The High House family would like to honor Richard Trask, U.S. Navy. Caitlin McKeever and family would like to remember and honor Frank Fritsky, U.S. Army. Corinne Ecker would like to remember Edwin Blakesley, honor Edwin Blakesley, U.S. Navy. Stephen Ecker would like to honor Aldo Ecker, U.S. Navy. Corinne Ecker would also like to remember Charles Koch, U.S. Army. Caleb and Aiden Raudenbush would like to recognize Ken Austin, U.S. Navy, and the Hamaui family would like to remember Carl Mastickle, U.S. Army. Thank you all for your service.
And at this time, we're going to take just a brief moment and transition over to our jazz band. Many of us are familiar with Glenn Miller as one of the most successful band leaders of the big band era. But at age 38, he left behind his highly successful career to serve his country in the Air Force. American Patrol was recorded in 1942, roughly 6 months before the band leader reported for Air Force duty in Omaha, Nebraska. The song, with its patriotic themes and easy sense of swing, became one of the most popular songs of the year, peaking at number 15 on the Billboard chart. Please enjoy the Lancer Jazz Band rendition of American Patrol. And at this time, the Lancer Band will now transition into our marching band mode as we get ready to perform for you our field show for the 2020 season. Inspired by Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, with haunting music from Leonard Bernstein's and sophisticated lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, West Side Story is an incredibly beautiful and tragic love story of two young people who fall in love but are destroyed by hate. While the story revolves around Tony and Maria, the two rival gangs, the Jets and the Sharks, the underlying themes dig deep into the social issues that still resonate today. Our show is broken up into three parts. The first part consisting of Tonight in America, the second part, Maria and Cool, and the third, Somewhere and There Is a Place for Us. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the podium the drum major for the 2020 Lancer Band, Marissa Nestori. As this is our last collection of pieces, I also just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone who had a hand in making sure that our students had the opportunity to perform tonight and to honor our local veterans. The administration, as well as our Board of Education, and of course, our Band Association has been absolutely, here's the pun, instrumental in making sure, sorry, I'm a dad now, so I'm allowed to tell those jokes, so it's fine. No, but it's been an absolutely tricky, but a fantastically rewarding year so far, and it's been only possible through all of the efforts that all of the aforementioned have made. So thank you all so much, and thank you for coming out and supporting us tonight on this relatively chilly, but still really, really wonderful night. So thank you for that. And now, without further ado, here's our marching show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attendance tonight. Once again, thank you so much to all of you that made this possible. And of course, a group that I definitely left out before, but thank you to the band. The challenges of this year have been incredibly difficult, and we've relied more than ever on everyone's individual abilities to practice and to keep with the music and everything. So for things to work out this well is a testament to how hard they've been working individually. So for that, I congratulate you all. Thank you so much. Our next performances are more than likely going to be virtual, so we are starting to prepare to get those ready, as I don't think we're going to be able to sit out here in January and entertain you. But we're looking forward to resuming live performances in the spring, if the situation, of course, allows for it to be done safely. Thank you so much again, and one more time, let's just, of course, acknowledge our veterans one more time. Thank you so much for your service and your dedication to our country. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.